how do I stop binge eating? Okay.
It's a great question, by the way.
It is a great question. And I want to share with you the fact that I used to struggle, both of us actually used to struggle with binge eating for a long time. And while I'll be happy to give you the steps, the first thing that we have to appreciate is the fact that going from being a binge eater to a non-binge eater is a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. Like, you can make that decision in your mind overnight. However, from a habitual standpoint, it's gonna take a little bit of time, and you have to be okay with that. So for anybody who's watching this, regardless of what it is that you want to become, know that it's a process and there's going to be failures along the way. Now, failures are just indication of the opportunity that things have to be tweaked. Failures do not mean that things are not working for you. It's just a matter, the next time you fail, okay, what can you assess from this? I will tell you, my becoming of not being a binge eater, having been a binge eater, is the next time that I failed, once I had made up my mind that I'm ready to be a different person. Because you can want your body to change, you can want to stop doing this, but if you're not willing and ready to change like your ways, then none of it is going to matter. So when I made up my mind that, okay, I am willing to change my ways, every time that I failed, I asked myself, what did I learn from this? And what can I do about it next time? And failures became meaningful because failures actually turned into lessons of what works, what doesn't work, what sets me up for success better, what can I do to make sure that it happens less, what things trigger it to make it happen more often. And you build greater awareness, and over time, once you've made up your mind that this is true, that you are willing to change your ways, and once you have all that data, you're able to make better decisions in the long run. And I'll tell you, this is why I do not regret any of the 10 years that I struggled, because I've gained so much wisdom that now I know so much about myself that, if I see something in the rear view mirror, I'm like, don't look in that direction, keep looking this way, because you know what happens when you're looking at that angle. I'm just giving you examples.
I just want to bring clarity to that example. You don't drive by staring in your rear view mirror. You glance at your rear view mirror to make sure everything's all good. You glance, great. But your sole focus is forward. Otherwise, if you drove forward while staring at your rear view mirror, you will crash into something.
Yeah. So how do you stop? The first thing that you do, you have to make up your mind that you are willing to change your ways, especially if this is something that you struggled with for a long time, because we can want the weight to drop all day long. We can want to stop binge eating, but the question is, am I willing to get outside of my comfort zone by changing my ways? If so, then one thing to accept is the fact that failure is just a part of the process. And with every single failure, you have to confront, what is it that you did? Like, what did I eat? How much did I eat? Most people wouldn't even want to confront that because they're scared to confront how bad things are. Now, you cannot make things better if you don't know how bad something is. Okay. So once you've made up your mind, which is step one, step two is you want to confront, the ugly truth or the hard truth or whatever it may be. Okay, so I ate 19 pieces of brownie. Okay, shit, that sucked. So the next question that you're going to do is what can I do better next time? So step number 3 would be incremental shifts. Okay. And this is why we always talk about progress, not perfection. So in this case, an incremental shift will be, well, okay, the next time you eat brownies, why don't you go for 18 pieces rather than 19? Would you be willing to do that? Okay. So
But Sarit,
incremental.
that's not really going to help me lose weight.
Do you want to do it the surefire way or do you want to do it fast?
I said that on purpose because we don't know if the goal is weight loss. We can only assume that it's weight loss. But why do you want to stop binge eating in the first place? And if the goal is to stop binge eating to lose weight, then which one are you focusing on? Because if you want to stop binge eating, you need to focus on the structure that will get you there. If you want to just lose weight, then what you need to do to stop binge eating is not going to make you confident that that's what you need to do to lose weight, because it's not going to feel big enough. It's not going to feel hard enough. But if something is too hard, we often don't follow through. So it can't be too hard. Can I go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to recap, Sarit, be willing to change. Actually looked up the definition of want versus will. I think this is very important. Want, have a desire to possess or do something, wish for. Will, expressing the future tense as if it's going to happen. Expressing inevitable events. Inevitable events. Will is it's going to happen. Want is I wish that it will happen. I hope that it will happen.
Will is taking full responsibility. Want is not taking full responsibility.
Right. The second thing, you're not a binge eater. If you identify as a binge eater, good luck. We don't identify it. I don't walk around saying I am a non-binge eater. Like I'm not absorbing an identity of something that I do or don't do. An identity is what you are, not actions that you take. So if you're struggling with binge eating, I only mentioned this because I heard you say it, but it's so easy for it to roll off the tongue, right? Like, oh, I'm a binge eater. No. Oh, I'm an addict. No. Hold on. You struggle with addiction. You struggle with binge eating. You struggle with something. As soon as you absorb it as who you are, you cannot escape the actions that correlate with that identity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So start seeing yourself as the person that you want to become. Your actions will follow suit. Then we get to tactical. Then we get to, what did you say? Incremental shifts. Then we get to like progressive changes. So it's more like, instead of eating 20 pieces of candy, I eat 19. I do it every day for a whole week. Okay, great. When I can be consistent, then I go to 18. If I can do that every day for a whole week, good. Then I can be consistent at 17, then 16, then 15, then 14. Then maybe I go from 14 to 12 because now I've proven to myself I can be consistent. Then maybe I go from 12 to 10. Maybe I go from 10 to 6. Just depending on how well you have proven to yourself that you can progress through these kind of stages. The other thing that I want to say is take it one day at a time. It is one day at a time. That is it. When you struggle with being like addicted to something, you have to take it one day at a time. And what I had to tell myself was, if I can make it through tonight, after dinner, before bed was always the moment for me. If I can get to bed without binge eating and I can wake up in the morning knowing that I won, I can believe in myself a little bit more to try again the next day also. And I would tell myself that if I did succeed genuinely, then I could binge eat the next night. I could eat whatever I wanted. Only if I made it through this night. Because it's funny thing happens when you wake up the next day, it's tomorrow when we always start, is that you have a new motivation for that day. So let that day worry about itself. You just focus on today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Cool.
love it. I love it. It's a process. The becoming is a process.
Mm-hmm.